In this video, I am going to get into some of my different hunting techniques and some of my past discoveries that I've talked about in interviews and on some podcasts, but I haven't made videos about some of this stuff. So I'm just going to introduce you to some of those and we can try to make sense of them together. So this is pretty cool. Right in the heart of hunting season, I found a big old elk. If I was hunting right now, that would be quite the find. There's people all over this mountain right now trying to get one of these guys. It's your lucky day, bud. I'm not a hunter, but you should be out of sight right now. That's a bull. Big old meaty bull. That's pretty cool. But unfortunately, I'm not looking for elk. See, this camera's pretty cool. Oh my god, but I think I'm... Oh, what is that? I thought I was seeing movement over there. And I was just getting this weird unease. Like something's watching me. There's something weird moving up there. God, I saw like a reddish brown. And I want to show you how far that is. That's super far. Let's see, I'm down here. I'm in a totally different section of this river. But something caught my eye up there. It's really weird. Wait, is that the right spot? Yeah, that is the right spot. Oh, now it might not focus on it. Oh, it did. Yeah, it was like a reddish brown. I mean, like, not reddish brown like any bear. It was like a, almost like an orangish fire red. And I heard a really weird sound when I first came into this area. It really kind of creeped me out. It actually, it sounded like a person pretending to sound like a monkey. It was like a, I don't know, it's like a really weird, like fake ape call type sound. So the incident that I just spoke on, that was a very strange experience for me because I was coming into the bottom of a canyon all alone, deep in the middle of nowhere, and I heard the strangest sound. I heard what sounded like an ape kind of moaning or humming nervously, kind of a was a really strange thing because I heard it and it sounded like it was 10 or 15 feet from me. And instead of going towards it, I took off the other direction, almost like I was not even in control of myself, and just got out of there in a hurry. And it wasn't till like an hour later that I really thought about how strange that was, that I reacted that way and ran from what I was pretty confident would have been a Sasquatch just right around a corner from me. I think about that moment a lot, almost like I was not in control of my own actions. So this is an old video. This is a video of my very first actual eyewitness experience of seeing a Sasquatch. I didn't have any kind of scope. I didn't even have binoculars. I didn't have anything but my cell phone that day. This right here is the Sasquatch. And I am 100% confident and positive that's a Sasquatch. I watched it walk through these trees. I watched its arms swing. I watched its legs move. It was upright. And then I had to go fetch my phone and come back. By the time I got back, standing there staring down, filming it, it had hunkered down and it stayed in one spot from there on out as I filmed it. So after this footage, I had to tell my friends and family about this experience. And of course, everybody, oh, it was probably a bear or who knows what it was. And that was frustrating because I know what a bear looks like. I have seen bears in the wild more times than I can count. Bears are very distinctive. They have their teddy bear face and their round, clumsy bodies. I know a bear when I see a bear. But this footage being so poor because it was so far away, I knew this footage wouldn't convince any non-believers to change their mind. So I set out investigating the surrounding area on many, many missions of research, exploration, overnight trips. I started buying equipment, and I learned real quick that I needed something that could get footage from a long distance away. As I set out trying to find evidence to support my claim that my video was in fact a Sasquatch, I found a lot of different trail systems with footprints, a lot of strange footprints that didn't belong out there. This particular footprint is one of my favorites because it really shows the ankle and the toe. It's cut sideways in the trail. This was a really steep piece of trail, and it cut sideways to, account for the steepness, just like I would when I'm coming down a steep trail. So one of my first big discoveries was this X structure. I was really excited to have found it. I had seen other videos from researchers before me that had attributed these X structures to Bigfoot, Sasquatch. So when I came across one in the area near where I had my sighting, I knew immediately what it was. And I have since found many X structures, and I'm going to be putting a video out to illustrate all the different X structures I've found. It should be coming out in the next couple of months. This is a tree that was stabbed into the ground. Oh wow, I didn't even realize this is like a bed right here where something was laying here. This is an upside down tree, roots sticking out of the ground, totally stabbed into the ground. And they try to say this happens from landslides. There's no way. Look around. Look around. There's no fucking landslide here. Look at this one. God, these bones are definitely a little scary. This one is huge. I mean, this log is huge. There's no way. This happened from a landslide. Look, more upside down trees. As I kept finding more and more discoveries to corroborate my belief, I don't even like to use that term because it's beyond belief. I'm absolutely positive that Sasquatch is in that area. And as the evidence was compiling to support my claim, I knew I needed to get proof. Proof in the form of a clear video. This contraption was my first attempt at long distance photography. All it is a spotting scope with a cheap digital camera that attaches to it. It did allow me to suddenly be able to get footage, rather clear footage, from things a mile, even up to 2 miles away. So this was a game changer for me. It changed the way I hunted. I wasn't any longer stuck pushing through the brush and climbing through the canyon bottoms. I could then post up on mountaintops and scour the valleys below, and I did. I've spent hours and hours doing just that. What the fuck? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you're looking at me and I'm looking at you, bud. Once I had the ability to just sit in one spot and spy on this area, it definitely changed the way that I did my investigation, and it still does to this day. But looking at this bear, this is the same area where I saw the Sasquatch. And yeah, I didn't have a scope that day, but looking at this bear, there's no way I could have mistaken my Sasquatch. This bear, it doesn't walk upright. It has a very distinct face. There's just no way. And I was really glad to have seen this bear from that mountaintop, because it actually showed me that the Sasquatch I saw was so much bigger than that bear. The Sasquatch I saw would have been able to pick up that bear and carry it on its shoulder like I can with a dog. So this footage is of when I very first started using the spotting scope camera combo. And on this day, this may have been the very first time I ever recorded with this thing. I was just playing with it and testing it out, scanning the lower valley, looking left and looking right, but I couldn't really see the screen that day because I had the sun to my back and the sun was shining directly upon the little screen, and whenever you have really bad glare on a little screen like that, visibility is just horrible. But I could see enough, that if something big, something important came into the screen, I would recognize it. But because of the glare, I wasn't seeing small objects. I wasn't seeing little things standing out. And while doing this, I pass over something twice. I pass over something that seems very out of place. It looks like it could possibly be the head of a Sasquatch, but it is a bright red, a fire orange type red. At this time period, I had never had any reason to be looking for that color. I was always looking for a dark brown or a black color. And so the color didn't stand out to me. It didn't jump out to me as anything. Something's in these stumps a lot. And I did get a video of a bear. There's something weird moving up there. God, I saw like a reddish brown. And I want to show you how far that is. That's super far. I mean, like, not reddish brown like any bear. It was like almost like an orangish fire red. When I was in that canyon bottom that day, and I thought that I was seeing something with a orangish reddish color following me in the trees, I hadn't seen the footage that I got off of that scope yet. That was just sitting on an SD card in a drawer. It wasn't till months after this day that I pulled out those SD cards and started watching them and realized that I had missed that red head sticking up from behind a stump. And so I really started wondering, is there a red Sasquatch out there, a bright reddish brown Sasquatch? Because I've had 2 different incidents now where there seems to be a red, orangish, fire red colored something out there. So with the footage of the red head sticking up from behind the stump, it's inconclusive, but it's definitely something that I have been thinking about. It's had me scratching my head, but I don't know what it is for sure. I've made mistakes. This footage here, I saw this from 2 miles away, and I was positive it was a Sasquatch. I saw what looked like legs here. I thought I saw shoulders. I thought I saw a head, neck. But once I zoomed in on it, it was just a dark hole in the trees. So mistakes get made. I can't get everything right. But with the red, brown thing that was apparently stalking me in the trees, and then I have this footage of this weird reddish brown head sticking up from behind a big stump. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm looking for this color now. And I've seen other people have videos where they've seen red colored Sasquatches out in the woods. So I don't know. It's something I'm just thinking about looking into, but I don't like to claim that footage is definitively of a Sasquatch by any means, but we'll find out. I just got to keep hunting.